This number shouldn't exist, not at 26 hours. Everything I'd read said therapeutic ketosis, the kind where your body starts serious cellular cleanup, needs 48 hours minimum, usually 72. I'm Neil, day 8 of a 70-day tracked reset. I measured everything, and this reading broke what I thought I knew about autophagy. Here's what I'll show you. The exact glucose and ketone numbers that gave me a GKI of 2.7, what that number actually tells you about autophagy timing, and the research that says we've been thinking about this wrong. Let me start with the meter. Right, so let me explain what GKI actually is, because that number on the meter, 2.7, means nothing unless you understand the maths behind it. GKI stands for glucose ketone index. You take your blood glucose reading in milligrams per decilitre, divide it by 18, then divide that by your ketone reading in millimoles per litre. Simple calculation. What it gives you is a ratio that tells you how deep into ketosis you actually are. Under 9, you're in mild ketosis. Under 3, that's therapeutic range. Under 1, that's deep autophagy territory, the kind they use in cancer research protocols. My reading, glucose 77, ketones 1.6. Divide 77 by 18 gives you 4.28. Divide that by 1.6, GKI 2.7. Therapeutic ketosis at 26 hours. Now here's why that matters. If you Google, when does autophagy start? You'll get the same answer everywhere. 48 hours. Some say 72. A few says it only kicks in properly after 3 full days of fasting. I believed that for months, assumed anything under 48 hours was just warming up, not doing the real work. Turns out I'd got it wrong. Not slightly wrong, fundamentally wrong. The research tells a different story. Autophagy doesn't work like a light switch, off at 47 hours, magically on at 48. It's a gradient, a dial that turns up gradually. Evidence suggests autophagy starts ramping up around the 18 to 24 hour mark. It peaks deeper into a fast. Absolutely. The longer you go, the more intense the cellular cleanup. But the process begins much earlier than most people think. That was the bit I'd missed. I was treating autophagy like a destination. Get to hour 48, collect your prize. And actually, it's more like a journey that starts the moment you stop eating. It just picks up speed the further you go. Think of it like the council bin round. You know what happens when the bins aren't collected for a month. Bin bags pile up by the back door, the smell builds, flies arrive. You stop noticing because you've adapted to it, but it's there, getting worse. That's your cells without autophagy, junk proteins, damaged mitochondria, misfolded rubbish accumulating like black bags in the kitchen. Now fasting is the bin lorry turning up, but here's what I'd got wrong. The bin lorry doesn't suddenly appear at hour 48 like it's been booked in advance. The cleanup crew starts loading the van around about hour 18. By hour 24 they're on the road, hour 48 they're doing the full round, every street, every alley. Hour 72, they're hosing down the pavement. My reading at 26 hours, the bin lorry was already on my street. Not done, not at full capacity, but the crew was working. To understand why this happens, you need to understand fuel switching. Your body keeps about 50 pounds in the glove box. That's glycogen, quick access energy stored in your liver and muscles. Every time you eat, you top it up. Coffee and a biscuit, top up. Lunch, top up. Evening snack, top up again. Problem is, if you're constantly topping up the glove box, you never need to touch the savings account. And the savings account, that's your body fat. Thousands of pounds sitting there, untouched, because the glove box never runs empty. Fasting stops the top-ups. By about 12 to 16 hours, the glove box is getting low. By 18 to 24 hours, it's empty. Your body has no choice. It goes to the savings account, starts withdrawing fat for fuel. Your ketones rise, your glucose drops. That's the metabolic switch. And that switch, that's what triggers the deeper cleanup. Once your body's running on fat and ketones instead of glucose, your autophagy ramps up, not because a timer went off, but because the fuel source has changed. So why does so much research say 48 hours? Partly because most autophagy research was done on animals, mice specifically, and the timelines don't translate directly to humans. Partly because it's easier to give people a simple number than explain a gradient, and partly because, well, the internet loves a clean answer. Do X for Y hours, get Z result. But biology doesn't work in neat packages. It's messy, individual. It depends on your metabolic flexibility, how often you fasted before, what you ate before the fast, how much body fat you're carrying, your stress levels, your sleep, which makes sense when you think about it. My body's been fasting regularly for over 2 years now. Hundreds of fasting days logged. It knows how to switch fuels. Someone on the first ever fast, their body might and probably will take longer to make that switch. It doesn't mean autophagy is not happening. It just means the gradient looks different for them. And that brings me to what it actually feels like. Day one of a fast, any fast, used to feel like running a marathon in work shoes. Energy drops, brain gets foggy, hunger shows up like it's got somewhere to be. Day two, blisters forming. You're questioning everything. Why am I doing this? Should I just eat? Day three, and in my case, quite often day four, this is the bit that you're not really prepared for. Suddenly you're floating. Your energy comes back. Hunger fades. Mental clarity sharpens. What changed? Your body switched fuel tanks. Glucose tank was now empty. Your ketone tank full. Your energy stopped spluttering. That's the switch. The discomforts on day 1 and 2, sometimes 3, isn't your body failing. It's your body learning a new skill. Like the first time you drive a manual car, stalling at roundabouts, grinding gears, sweating at junctions. Month 3, you shift without thinking. But here's what 2 years of regular fasting taught me. That switch gets faster, much faster. Day 8 of the 70-day rhythm reset, October 2025, extended fast, nothing since Saturday evening, 26 hours in, I woke up clear-headed. 8 hours sleep the night before, walked for an hour through Yorkshire rain, I did 10 minutes of weighted squats, 25 kilos on my back. My body felt tight, my face felt smaller. There was a bit of loose skin under my chin. Scaffolding, adjusting while the builder's still working. Then I tested, pricked my finger, waited for the meter. Glucose, 77 milligrams per decilitre. Ketones, 1.6 millimoles per litre. GKI, 2.7. I stared at it to double check because everything I'd read previously said that number shouldn't exist at 26 hours. Therapeutic ketosis, the range where cellular repair is active, where autophagy is doing genuine work. Just over a day fasted, not 48 hours, not 72, 26. And it didn't stop there because I kept tracking. Day 9, 42 hours fasted, my glucose had dropped to 64.8, my ketones had jumped to 3.1, my GKI was 1.1. That's deeper therapeutic range. The kind where fat's the primary fuel and your body's doing serious internal housekeeping. By day 5 of a different fast, September last year, ketones hit 8, GKI 0.5. That's the zone used in cancer treatment protocols. Not because I was ill, because the body, given enough time, goes deep. And here's the pattern I spotted across multiple fasts. GKI drops below 1 consistently between day 4 and day 6. The more I fasted, the faster I got there. My body learnt the route. That's the gradient in action. Hour 26, repair crews on the street. Hour 42, full rounds underway. Day 5, deep cleaning. Not a switch, a dial turning up. Now I need to be honest about something. Not every hour of those fasts has felt like a victory. Day 8, the same day I got that 2.7 reading, I was physically drained by the afternoon. Even a gentle walk felt like a mini marathon. Back was grumbling, emotionally a bit delicate. And the day before, day 7, same fast, I found myself at a barbecue. Kebabs, burgers, sausages, gorgeous salad, cakes that looked divine. Days gone by, I'd have grabbed a plate without thinking. This time, I kept my head down and focused on the bigger picture. The point is, my biomarkers were in therapeutic range while I felt rubbish. The cellular repair was happening whether I felt euphoric or exhausted. Autophagy doesn't care about your mood, it cares about your metabolic state. Something I haven't seen referenced very often is that some of the best repair work happens on your worst days. And the timeline, I want to be straight about this. I didn't get a GKI of 2.7 at 26 hours on my first ever fast. Not even close. This was October 2025. I've been fasting regularly since Boxing Day 2023. Nearly 2 years. Literally 100 fasting days. My body had learnt to switch fuels efficiently because I'd trained it gradually over months and months. When I started monitoring my first 72-hour fast back in March 2024, GKI was 2.3 at day 3, 72 hours to get roughly what I later achieved in 26. That's metabolic flexibility building over time. So if you're watching this and thinking, I could never hit those numbers that quickly, you're probably right. Right now, give it 12 months of consistent practice and your body adapts. The switch gets faster, the gradient steepens. What you can actually do with this, start with whatever feels comfortable. That's it. There's no pressure to jump into a 48-hour fast because you saw my numbers. That's not the point. If you've never fasted, try closing your eating window slightly. Eat dinner by 7 p.m. Don't eat again till 9 a.m. the next morning. That's 14 hours. Your body starts learning the fuel switch, even at that level. If you're already doing 16.8 comfortably, try extending to 18.6 for a couple of weeks. See how you feel. No drama, no suffering, just a gentle stretch. If you want to track what's actually happening, a glucose and ketone meter is worth the investment, the 60-70 quid for the meter, and then £1 or so per test strip. Measure fasting glucose in the morning. Measure ketones before you break your fast. Calculate your GKI. Some of the meters will do that for you. Watch the pattern over weeks, not days. Here's what to expect. First 2 weeks, adaptation. Hunger signals changing. Energy might be inconsistent. That's normal. That's the gearbox learning where the gears are. Week 3 to 4, metabolic switching starts to feel more natural. Energy gets steadier. Month 3, if you're consistent, you'll notice your body enters ketosis faster after each fast. That's metabolic flexibility building. And if you want a blood test checkpoint, ask your GP for fasting glucose and HbA1c. Month 3. That gives you a real data point, not guesswork. If you want to start tracking your own fasting data, I've built a fasting tracker template. Logs your windows, glucose, ketones, GKI, energy levels. Gives you the actual numbers to work with instead of guessing. The link's in the description. It's a free download. One thing, if you're on medication, especially diabetes medication, blood pressure meds, anything that affects blood sugar, please speak to your GP before changing your fasting patterns. Fasting changes how medication works. Dosing might need adjusting. It's not optional, it really is quite essential. Red flags during any fast: dizziness that doesn't pass, chest pain, severe headaches, confusion. Please break the fast and see your GP. If you've got a history of eating disorders, fasting may not be appropriate. Different intervention may be what's required. Again, please talk to a professional. Next Friday, I'll be going deeper on another topic, same model. There'll be some expert science, personal testing, and honest data. I'll see you then.